Hey guys, this is Wayne Harris here. Hey, making a video here about how to cut up a chicken, and the reason I'm making a video is simply because I've been using a lot more chicken these days. Lost a little bit of weight and doing a fair amount of grilling, and in just general conversations, I'm surprised at the number of people that don't know how to cut up a chicken, and I've been making a little bit of a chicken soup, and people ask me, how do you make the chicken soup? And I say, you start off by making broth. You start off by making broth by taking your leftover chicken carcasses and boiling them. And I get this blank look. What do you mean chicken carcass? What is this chicken carcass you speak of? And I said, well, when you start with the chicken and you cut it up for barbecuing or whatever you're going to do, take the leftovers and use them. Well, apparently this is a lost art. A little bit of background about me. Apparently, the knowledge I have is antiquated, but it comes from my days in high school as a butcher. I worked in a local grocery store called Heinen's, and in the meat department, and they taught me how to cut up chicken. So I'm going to teach you how I was taught. Now, it was taught from a grocery store meat department's perspective. There are other perspectives you see online. There's a lot of online videos on how to cut up a chicken. And you see, Oriental styles going from different angles. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no one way that's better than the other. This is my way. And understand, it comes from the perspective of selling chicken. So you're going to see a couple of things here. I'm going to show you that maximize obviously the sale price, maybe not the usability, but it's my way. It works for me, and I'm going to show you how it's done. First of all, get my buddy here to zoom in a little closer. I want to show you why we're doing this. You want to start off with whole chickens. Why do you want to start off with whole chickens? Well, let me tell you real quick. If all you've ever got is something like this, and you've never started with something like that, this is $5 a pound. This is $1.09 a pound. So that right there should be some motivation. If you like white and dark meat, there's no reason why you couldn't start with something like this. Again, much cheaper, a little sense of accomplishment, you own it. But that's why I start with that. I'm a cheap guy. So if you've only ever started with this, it's time to start with something like that. Let's put this aside. Let's talk about my layout here real quick. This is the way I kind of start when I lay things out. A couple of buckets, white meat, dark meat, and then something for the freezer. This is where the carcasses go. Equipment. Obviously a cutting board and a knife, a good sharp knife. But which knife? I have seen every knife under the sun used. A lot of people will use a big knife like this. I've actually seen my mother use something like that. It's a general knife like this, or a little steak knife. Which one would you use? The answer to me, after having cut up thousands of these chickens over the course of my life, is a very general purpose, sturdy boning knife. It's about 6 inches long, 6.5 inches long. There is nothing special about that knife except that I use it only for chicken. I give it a couple of runs through the $1.99 sharpener, and I'm good to go. So let's go ahead and get started with the process. It doesn't take that long. I'm going to go slow and talk through the first one. I've got 2 chickens to do because frankly that's what I'm eating tonight. And hopefully we'll get these cut up, get it explained, and in the end I won't cut myself. But there is no guarantees, and I've got the scars to prove that that's possible. So with that, let's cut up a chicken. First of all, you should know that when you take a chicken out of the package, out of the insides, quite often there you will find a bag of giblets. You want to keep these. And the giblets are good. You don't throw those away. Inside that bag you will see, and the bag comes in various flavors, paper, plastic, whatever, but it's simply the heart, liver, neck bone, and so on. And this is all good stuff for soup. Some people eat it straight up. That's not for me. I use it for soup though. Then when I'm situated, kind of orient the chicken like this. Now, I take the wings off first, and understand that the wings are like a ball and socket, like our own shoulders, and you want to work the knife in between this and just separate it. And so you work in a scooping motion. Now, I had mentioned earlier that I have a grocery store kind of a perspective. A lot of places like Hooters and other wing places, they try and make their wings as meaty as possible, and they'll cut actually into the breast. Yeah, that's not what I'm doing. I want to, the breast, from a grocery store perspective, sells for a lot more money, as you can tell by the package I showed earlier. So I'm just going to cut the wing off like this, and you can see that's the wing. That's one. Then I do the same for the other. That's the wings. I'll put those aside and we'll come back to them. Right now I'm just going to do a basic disassembly. But that's the wings. Then I flip it over. You'll notice loose skin in here. You're not cutting meat here, but you're going to cut down, and then there is a ball and what we call an oyster in here. So we're going to want to scoop out, and it's simply cut down through that loose skin. Okay, get your thumb in there and start working. Start working. And you're going to find another ball and socket in there. And just cut through. And there's your leg and thigh. Now that oyster is right here. It's not a very clean job. My old bosses wouldn't be very proud of me, but you want to scoop that meat out of there, come around that, and then just take it off the end. And you're going to do the same to the other side. Cut that loose skin. Find the oyster, and I didn't do a fantastic job with that. But then just go ahead and cut it off. And there you got the other leg. And that's the wings and the legs are off. Now you've got the breast and the back. And again, loose skin on each side. And so what you're going to do is grab it by the tail end of the thing. You're going to come down towards the back. And then as you get underneath the back rib, you're going to come down and just cut right through those bones. And your knife, if it's sharp, will cut right through those. That's one. That's two. There's your back. That goes in here. This is a great place for your chicken stock. Now you got a chicken breast and thighs. Let's make some room. So let's cut the thighs up. Thighs and drumsticks. You've all bought these before, but you'll notice that there's a seam right there. And that again is another knuckle. Cut right on that seam. There you go. Dark meat. Dark meat. Same with the other one. But you see, if you find the right location, it's pretty straightforward. There's not much to it. Let's go ahead and get these wings out of here. I throw the tips away. Again, knuckle joints. Tip goes in here. Tip goes in here. Now what you'll notice is there is a seam in all of these. You're not hearing bones crunching. You're not hearing tearing. You're finding the seam. You have a knife. You're going through it. If you're crunching bone, you're in the wrong place. Now, separating the wing. Should be pretty straightforward, but again, grocery store approach. This part of the wing sells for more than this part of the wing. So when you cut this little web, cut towards the this part. I don't know what you call it. Not the drumstick part. And there you go. Drumstick. I'm going to put that in the white meat. And again, start here in the corner. Follow that down, make a little slit, and then find the little knuckle right in there and go between it. You can see we didn't crunch bone, we just crunched right through that knuckle bone. Now all you have left to do is the breast. And the breast, you give it a little cut here in the center and you split it open, caveman style. And what you're going to find, if you do it right, is you have a keel bone in here. And you kind of run your hands down either side of it and give it a rip. That's the keel bone. It came out relatively okay. I've done better. Next is the wishbone. Wishbone is been broken at this point when you split it, and it's pretty easily findable. There's one end of it. Just give it a little cut. There it is, and that goes in here as well. The next one is down in here. You give it a cut, and there's the other half. Again, my old boss wouldn't have been proud because there's some meat on there, but that's too bad. Next, you're going to just remove these rib bones. Give it a slight cut here. Follow that down. You're going to cut through some of the some major muscles and whatnot here. Give it a try and stay as close as you can to the bone. Follow it down. Throw that away. Again, following this down. There's a bone that goes all the way up here. Follow that as neatly. You want to leave as little on here as you can. And that's really a whole breast. Now I do two more things with this breast. One is I split it. Okay. Second is there is a tender in here. And I take the tenders out. I take the tenders out because, frankly, my wife likes them. And so that's going to go in the white meat section. So now here's two breasts. The skin is going to come off right after grilling. But that is one chicken. So now I'm going to do the next chicken. I'm going to go a little bit faster, but now that you know what I'm doing, you have something to look for. Again, we're keeping the giblets. Throwing that away. And we're going to go and just take the wings off. Did an okay job, not a great job of getting that oyster. Here comes the back. Back is out. Goes in the bone bucket, and then we make some room on the cutting board. Legs and thighs, tips. Find the corner, slide down that side, give it a quick cut. Just a tap. You don't need to cut deeply there. Now you just run your fingers down each side of the keel bone, pull out the wishbone. And if you have dogs like me, anything you spill on the ground won't last. I have, while I'm cutting this, I'll tell you a quick story. In the past, when the dogs have been extra good, occasionally I will accidentally drop a gizzard, and there's no better treat. I'm going to have veterinarians call me here and say you shouldn't do that, but it happens. Okay, so again, two more breasts, pulling the doing a horrible job there, pulling the tenders out. Some of these come out better than others. So anyway, that is it. That is two chickens disassembled. The nice thing about that is this. This is great for chicken soup. And this is the start of next month's chicken soup. So that's it. Two chickens, boned the way I like them. White meat, dark meat, and $1 a pound. You can do it too. Thanks for watching.